that what are the good effects that good weather have on human beings' moods?
I think good weather has a dramatic or great impact on the human health and human mood as well. When there is a very depressed or hot type of weather outside and the sun was shining so harshly and the humidity in the environment is so high, like it is very it feels a lot of burden on everyone's feeling. And when there is some kind of harsh environment or weather outside, then the feeling will be the same, and everyone like behave in the same manner. When there is some when there is some harsh environment outside, the feeling is very much depressed, and everyone is feeling so bad. And I observed when there is hot outside. Even I observed it in my family members when there is very hot outside, and everyone is feeling very much kind of angry, showing some sort of angry behavior, and they are usually fighting with each other on no very minor things. And when there is some pleasant environment outside, like cool breezes are blowing, everyone is feeling so happy, and this happiness spreads on the other persons as well. So I think the environment or climate has a very great role on human behavior.
Okay. How do you react to good weather? Uh, do you make a change in your routine, the daily routine?
Sorry, I did not listen to the
Okay.
question. Can
How
you
do
please
you react to good weather? Do you make change in your routine with?
according to weather?
Yes. How do you react
Yes,
to good weather?
when there is some good weather outside, firstly, when I realize that the environment is so good outside, it just instantly gives me a sense of happiness. And when I feel happy, then I always do all the other things that makes me more and more happy. Like I behave very happily with the other persons. And sometimes when I am at home and the environment is so pleasant outside, like the cool breeze is blowing or somewhat rainy season is, we are going through some kind of rainy season, or it is raining outside, then I love to make some special dishes, especially of fried kind of things. And I also really like to make very delicious type of coffee and sit in that environment and read some kind of good and pleasant novels under the shade, where I ensure that I may not get wet in the rain. So I think all of my activities are quite changed according to weather and climate.
Okay. So do you believe that all the people behave the same towards the good weather?
We cannot say that this is a hard and fast rule for every person around us, but usually and on an average basis, we see that the environment plays a very dramatic role and great role on the human behavior. As I already mentioned, that whenever there is some very hot outside, everyone is feeling so depressed and angry, and they are just like uh, uh, fighting with or other people on very minor things, like their like mode of conduct is quite changed. But when there is in cool and good or pleasant environment outside, then everyone is behaving very pleasantly with each other. There is no any kind of fights, and everyone is feeling so happy, and everyone looks like smiling. And when there is a hot weather or the weather is extreme, so usually we don't like to go out in such extreme weather, because it seems so disturbing sometimes to go out in very harsh sun or in very freezing cold. So in usually like to stay at home, and they don't really they stay at home and snuggle in their bed. They don't really like to go out, and when usually we can say the social activities are quite reduced because of the extreme environment, and people also don't like when some guests visited their home in such environment or in such weather. But when the environment is pleasant or there is some spring type of environment, everyone really feels to go out and enjoy with the friends and family, and they also really like to go in their at their friend's house, and they also really like to welcome guests at their own home. So I think on an average and on general basis, the behavior of the human is same when it comes to different types of environments. But it can be vary because some people have unique personalities. Their behaviors can be varied according to their personal traits.
Okay. So next is that, do you think that weather means much? Yeah, good weather means much to the old people and the children.
Cold weather.
Do you think good weather means much to the old people and the children?
Actually, on an like general basis, usually the youngsters are very short temperamented people because they are not mentally strong and they are not very well mature, and they sometimes feel some kinds of mood tantrums that like if they feel the environment is so cold, they just become happy at once, and when there is so hot environment, they just become angry at once in the same manner. But when it comes to the elder person, they have more patience in them. They are more strong and mentally mature. Like they can control their emotions and their behaviors. Uh, on majority of the cases, they usually I can quote the example of my father here. Like when there is so hot outside, I become so impatient at once, and I feel that I cannot bear that hotness, and I instantly want to go in some cold type of environment, and I also don't like to go out and eat much, and I also don't like to go in the kitchen. But if I compare myself with my parents, especially with my father, he used to go outside to bring all the essential things that we want, no matter how much sun is outside. And my mother always goes in the kitchen to cook delicious meals for all of us. Uh, she don't bother that how much cold or hot is environment in the kitchen. So I think they have more patience and stamina when is as compared to the youngsters.
All right.
So they can control their behaviors and their emotions.
Okay. So why do you think we enjoy the good weather? Is it because of the good weather itself or because of harsh weather that we experienced earlier?
The good weather always gives a very good and refreshing change to our body and our feelings as well. Presently we are going through so harsh weather because it is the peak summer these days, and the sun is so cruel in these days, and it is very life threatening to go out the peak hours. And when we see the other day that the environment is so cold and the cool breeze is blowing, or it looks that the rain is about to fall, then it just gives a very good refreshing sense. And I think the this feeling is the mutual of both of the conditions. Like we experience so harsh environment, and we have a very bad and very critical type of experience of harsh weather before, and at the same time, the environment is putting a very refreshing sense to our feelings. So I think it is the mutual and combination of both of the experiences that we feel very much
day when you experienced extraordinarily good weather?
When
You
you experience extraordinary weather.
good weather. So
Okay.
when it was, how it became extraordinarily good, what you did out of routine, and how you felt for the whole day.
Okay. Actually, this is not the incident is of not very long time before. It is, I think, few days back when the last week was so hot as compared to the all the summer days that we spent in this season. The last week was so hot and like the environment, like the temperature goes up to 48 or 46 degrees, which is like unbearable. And the environment was so hot. But like we are feeling so difficult. It was feeling so difficult to go out and sit in the offices and work in such peak hours. But um, after a few days, I think on the Thursday night, suddenly I came out of my room and I realized that it is the quite the cool breeze is blowing outside. Actually, my room windows were closed and I was not realizing the environment in my room. And I was just went out of my room just for some tasks that I had in the kitchen. That I had in the kitchen. When I was going out, I just saw that the trees were moving very fastly outside, and I just encountered a cool piece of wind that just gives a very good feeling to whole of my body at once, and I just become so happy because the temperature was so high for the whole day, and at that moment, I instantly make my plan to prepare some kind of dishes, like some kind of fried snacks with a good cup of coffee for all of my family members. And I just instantly went to the kitchen and I prepared all the things and I invited all of my family members and I asked them to go in the green belt that is just in front of my home, and they were very small and very cute and comfortable benches were installed there where people can sit and enjoy with their friends and family. And actually, the environment around my house is so secure that we can just easily go in that place and we can sit there without any worries of like other people. So I uh, uh, invited all of my other family members, including my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, and my husband too. We also bought our own plastic chairs that we had at our home. We placed all of those chairs in a circular fashion in the green belt that is just in front of our home. And I brought the all the dishes that I prepared for all of my family members. We just sit there, we enjoyed all the delicious food that I cooked, and the environment or the climate at that time was so refreshing because cool breeze was blowing, and it was just like putting all of the pressure that we created in our bodies because of the harsh weather, and it was feeling like that we are it was feeling that we are feeling that kind of environment for the first time. Although it is not the first time, we already enjoyed such type of weather so often, but it was feeling that it is just the first time, and it was so extraordinary because it was the environment was so unexpected that we were not expecting that just we actually we all were sitting in our rooms because the environment outside was so harsh and it was unbearable to sit in the that much hot and we that much hot temperature, and we all were like finding some places to hide in our room where we can feel somewhat cold. And I was luckily just came out of my room and I realized the environment was so cold because the windows of every room was closed because of the air conditioners that were just running in everyone's room, and the environment was shock because no one was expecting such kind of transmission of the like weather, and they were just they were just hurriedly came out of their country, all sit there for many hours. I think 2 to 3 hours there. The wind was so good, and there were no mud in the wind, and it was feeling that we are experiencing some kind of we are like in some kind of winter environment, winter weather. Like the environment was so refreshing and cold, and we sit there, we enjoyed, we sit there for many hours. We enjoyed the dishes that I cooked, and we enjoyed the coffee. And late, and after spending a few hours, late in the night, we went to our. Also, we don't want to go inside our room because we were feeling that we are quite lucky that just God gifted us such kind of environment just to relax ourselves because it was so unexpected, and we cannot expect such kind of cool and cold environment, cool environment in such kind of harsh summer. So it was very good experience, and but we have to go. We have to rent inside of our home because everyone has some commitments early in the morning, and we have to wake up early in the morning. So we went inside of our home, and still I remember that experience because it was so unexpected and refreshing at the same time.
Right. So now we come to part C of the test. There are a few questions. Is it? So,
Sir, can you please hold a second, please?
yes. Do you see any change
Sir,
in?
please hold for a second.
All right,
Just
all right.
temperature कब से प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है कोई
Now we come to part C of the test, and there are a few questions. Do you see any change in climate or weather conditions?
actually I am feeling the drastic change in environment and temperature both because and we also heard and read in a lot of like literatures and in the newspapers as well that the temperature of the earth is rising with every passing day, and because of the global warming that is happening all over the earth, and as the name shows that it is the global warming, and the earth is like getting hot day by day, and I feel and I observed as well the duration and the difference between the weather is quite reduced these days. Like in the past, I remember that the summer season is separated in 3 to 4 months, or it sometimes goes to 5 months as well. Whereas the summer is usually of 4 to 5 months, and the summer and autumn is of 1 or 2 months. But these days, because of the changing in the temperature, the duration of the like weather is so changed. Like the summer is usually is just for a month or two these days, and the the extremes of the temperature is also happening these days. Like we experience extreme hot, extreme cold weather in winter seasons, and the duration of summer season is very prolonged. Like now we experience almost the 9 to 8 months of summer, and the um, temperature is so high. Usually it goes to up to 50, and in this season it is expected that the temperature can go up to 55, which is basically unbearable for the human beings. And it is very, very life-threatening for every living being these days. And I observe the plants are getting died, and a lot of birds and lot of animals are getting died just because of so extreme environment. And this was not basically happening few years back. And I realized the summer and autumn is from our list these days. And other than that, we are also like observing. Luckily, we did not experience it before, but we observed, and we I also read in different like in different platforms, like the source of water is like the water source is very fastly depleting from the earth, and there are some locations, or there are some areas where people just have the ability of availability of water so scarcely. Like they are devoid of basic necessities of water, especially of clean water. And this is just because of the changing that is happening in the world and in the climate. And it is the very big reason of all of this is excessive use of electronical devices or the machineries in our daily life, the automobiles, like the uncountable automobiles on the roads, and other than that, deforestation is very, very big reason of all of these changes. And the level of water is quite go in a great depth that it could not be reachable for people to like um, ex- uh, ex- pull it out for drinking purposes. So I observed all of these changes. Like it was not happening in our childhood.
All right. So, do you think that government and the society they are showing a responsibility towards the climate change to have good
Yes,
weather?
yes. Everyone is feeling very like worried about this situation, and everyone, no matter on society level or on government level, they all are paying a lot of attention towards the climate changes that we are facing these days, and they are trying to reduce the global warming that is happening very fastly. Like the ozone layer is like the holes are created in the ozone, which is the protective layer of this earth, and the holes are just above the location where the China is located on the globe, and the government is taking a lot of good initiatives, like they banned all the plastic materials that was polluting the soil on the earth. They just banned that plastic bags on in shopping malls or on domestic level as well, and they shifted them to the environment friendly materials that can be degraded and can be reusable. And other than that, they are also they are also thinking and somewhat like shifted their energy production plants on the those resources which uses the less harmful raw materials like the water or the wind source of energy. Like they ban the um, power stations that are working for the by the combustion of coal, which is very harmful because they are the coal is producing such harmful gases, and it is like putting those gases in the environment that are creating fissures in the ozone layer that is furthermore creating the um, is responsible for high the temperature of the earth as well. And other than that, the automobiles are also like shifting to the less harmful source of energy. Like it is a world ban order, maybe in 2040 or 35, or maybe maximum in 2050. The all the automobiles that are working on petrols or on the diesel, they will be banned, and they are converted on the electronic vehicles that are working on the electronic like batteries, which just uh, they just expel very few or no gases that are harmful for the environment. So I think everyone is paying a lot of attention, and other than that, on a very minor scale, government is also showing some kind of campaigns like that, encouraging people to plant more and more on government level, in which everyone is required to like Allah required or forced to plant some kind of trees in their surrounding area just to redevelop the forest that we that we cut it. And I think these are all the initiatives that everyone is taking to solve this problem.
Okay. So, what do you think? Do you think that a growing population and the rising of industrial, or what I should say, industry revolution, they have mainly affected the climates and the weather changes as well?
Yes, we can say that we just cut the forest or cut the forest just to create the space for our cities and for our homes and factories to develop. And these factories always run on such kind of raw material that expels a lot of very harmful toxic gases in the environment. This is one of the biggest reasons or causes of this climate change because the uh, population is growing so fast and everyone wants the space to live and everyone wants to upgrade their lifestyles and just for this kind of satisfaction and this kind of upgradation people are moving more and more towards the cities and they are not paying more attention towards the environmental friendly um, application. They are just without any worries. They are just installing their factory for more and more production. Although this production is required to fulfill the growing population as well. And but the factories, especially on the developing countries, they are not paying much more attention towards the environmental rules like which they have to avoid the pollution in the environment. They just show their industrial waste in the water sources or in the water masses like on the rivers or on the canals and this water just use all the water body and these type of chemicals just spread on very far areas and they are not using they are not basically the factory owners are not behaving so responsibly like they are not using such kind of raw materials that produce less harmful and toxic gases in the environment that are not very harmful for the for the earth to develop global warming. But this type of initiative is already taken in the developed countries that they shifted all the factories, like they set some kind of rules for their factories and their industrial areas where they have to use such kind of raw materials that cannot produce very toxic kind of gases in the environment. And other than that, they are also bound to dispose of their industrial materials or industrial waste very wisely and very efficiently that cannot pollute the environment. They have to dump their all of the waste. So these kind of rules yet to be implemented in the developing countries as well. But I think in the future after few years, these all the rules will be implemented in every globally, and it is the need of the time basically.
All right. So, how do people keep informed about the climatic or weather development?
How do people?
Keep informed about
Okay.
the climatic or weather development.
Actually, these days it is not a big problem because the technology took us to a very far place where we can. It is not a big deal to just learn or watch what is happening around the world. There are so many international or national channels are working there. You can just have to search for, and your required data is just a click away, and you just have to search it on the website or on the international channels or on the net as well. You can just learn each and everything about that. And other than that, the newspapers and the news channels are behaving so responsibly. Like media is taking its reading some kind of newspapers, either they are national or international kind, or they can learn or read or listen to the news on the news channels, which tell you, which tells everybody that what is the good thing is happening around the world.
Right.
And we can also ask about different information from our elders and our institutions level as well.
Okay. Now, a few more questions. Are there any festivals in relation to weather?
In relation to weather, yes, there are some.
Weathers,
Yes,
I mean, weathers or seasons.
okay. Actually, there are a lot of festivals that are celebrated all over the world according to the weather or very much associated with the weather. Like if I talk about Pakistan, which is my home country, actually, here we celebrate Spring Festival, which is very much closely associated with the spring. We celebrate that festival, and in that festival, there are many colorful and various kind of stalls are set in the festival where people can shop different kind of things like they can shop for dresses, shoes, jewelry, and all the other things that even each and everything can be buy in such kind of festivals, and different kind of stalls are also arranged in these festivals where people can enjoy different type of cuisines of different countries, and they also enjoy our traditional food. There are musical concerts, there are theatrical shows, there are different kind of drama festivals, the drama competition, there are painting competitions, there are different kind of arts and crafts exhibitions, flower exhibitions, and these all kinds of things are included in this Spring Festival. And Spring Festival is celebrated nationally and internationally as well. People always like to celebrate such kind of festivals.
All right. So, do village people and city people enjoy the same type of weather?
Right? Why what?
Same type of weather.
No, I cannot say that they enjoy the same kind of weather. It entirely depends upon the location of the area, first of all. Like all the areas that are located on such region of the country where there is so hot, all of the cities and villages of that area experience more hotness as compared to the other areas of the country. But when we have to relate between the villages and cities, I think the environment is more crucial in cities because in cities there are more automobiles and there are more factories. The cities are more congested, and there are a lot of people like who are living or traveling from one place to another. Like in cities, it is always hustle and bustle everywhere. But when we go to in the villages are more close to the nature. There are more trees that give a very refreshing feeling to all over the environment. There are some water bodies are also available like the canals or the fields or some like the greenery is more present in villages, and the population of villages is quite reduced or less as compared to cities. The villages are not very much congested, and we can just feel the fresh air there. And I think in villages everything is more close to nature. So when it comes to nature, the environment, nature did not created the environment so hot and crucial for us. It created the environment so refreshing for all of us. These are our human interventions that changed or that created the transmission in the environment. So I think there is a huge difference between both of the places. Yes, but the facilities are more widely present in cities. Like we can enjoy air conditioners, we can enjoy heaters, we can also enjoy different also enjoy different kinds of coffees or hot cuisines or hot things that just engulf the coolness of the environment. But these facilities are usually not available or very widely available in villages. But I always prefer, I not only prefer, everyone who is living in the city always wants to go in some kind of countrysides or in the rural areas or villages just to give them a very good and refreshing break for their very complex and always hurried life which they are living in cities. So I think there is a huge difference between the environment of both of the areas. But on an average and on larger scale, the environment or the climate is changing for everyone, everywhere.
All right. Now, the last question relating to today's test. Do you behave to good or bad weather the same as you did when you were a child?
No, I cannot say that I am behaving very likely to like towards the environment as I was behaving in my childhood. Like the environment is so changed these days. In my childhood, the it was quite easy to bear the hotness of the environment, but these days it is very unbearable for some time. Like we cannot go out whenever we want. We have to manage our activities accordingly, and we have to manage each and everything accordingly. Like we purposely avoid to go out in the peak hours. And I did not remember such kind of activities in my childhood. I remember that we used to play in the afternoons and in the noons as well with our friends and family members or cousins. Although our parents told us to not go out in such environment, but we go out without their permission for some time. But it was not too harsh to bear. But these days, the hotness of the weather or the climate is so life-threatening. Like I heard a news that children are getting pain on a larger scale because of such environment, such crucial environment. These things are not happening in my childhood, and I remember that we enjoyed the bath. We enjoyed the bath in the swimming pools, and all of these activities were allowed. But these days, such kind of activities are not allowed because of pandemic or because of the other infectious diseases that are very much common these days, like the Congo virus or the coronavirus or the another thing, the dengue virus. Because of that virus, all the pools and the water bodies are not allowed for everyone because they give the places for the mosquitoes to germinate. And I think because of such situations, all the social activities are like vanished from our life. And these things were not happening in our past. Like when I was a child, I remember that I enjoyed all of these activities. But these facilities are not available for today's child.
All right. So it was very nice talking to you about this test. So give me 5 minutes break. I will prepare for another test to you, and
Okay.
I'll give you a phone call after some time. Okay?
Okay, I will call you after some time. Are you
Yes. Call me after 10 minutes. All right?
okay? Okay. Okay.